We'll fix it. That'll get it done. I'll help you. We'll talk about something real quick. Got our new stove here today. Finally, the new stove came. Finally. So it weighs 297 pounds, says the box, plus shipping. Came all fuckered up, actually. The package did. I didn't necessarily see if it was or not. No, it don't look like it's damaged. The glass is still in it. There's a little ding on it right there. It's not worth me having to load back on the back of this truck once I get it off. And put it back in. Holy shit, that is a small exhaust. I'd like to do that exhaust. Where is it here? Yeah, it's up here. Okay, minus 6 inch. I don't know. I gotta look at it. I figure I'd get it here so I can get parts for it, and whatever, we'll take care of it. This thing kind of looks a little different than the one we ordered. Seems like I remember it having a blower on it, and it seems like I remember it having a blower on it. Hey, Christy. No. She done heard me. Uh-oh. Well, so I'm missing something. There is definitely not a blower on this thing. Ooh, made in China. Look at that. I think it even said it was made in the U.S. when we searched it. Yeah, it is definitely looking blower free. There's something inside of it, so it could be the blower. There's something inside of it in a box. We won't find out until we can open it.
Is it looking different?
You don't think that's looking different? Anyway, government's bitch. So, people in Canada, man, they love to be government's bitch, dude. They will argue with it to the fucking end of the earth with you that what they are doing is right, and that what they must go peacefully when government comes to arrest them because of what they're doing. And even go as far as to these cops, man. Well, I seen 3 or 4 cops that called on their brothers and sisters to stand down. Well, where were they last week or last month? What about the people that had a problem before COVID with government? What about those dudes? Was y'all wasn't doing no freedom rallies over those dudes? You wasn't parking trucks? Where are you going? I already checked it. It's inside.
What?
The mail. So I was out here when she pulled up. It's inside. It's just a couple of things sitting on top of the glass table, I believe. That's where I put it. I stuck it somewhere where I would remember, but I don't remember, but I'll remember when I walk in. So anyway, we got to get this 300-pound behemoth in there. Problem with that is that I have a bunch of all my tools and shit are now in there in front of the other behemoth that has to come out. So now we moved all the walkway, and I got to go up here and move one more thing out of the Connex, and then we're going to take the tractor, just load all my tools and shit up in the bucket of the tractor and drive it up because I can't get my truck in there to load the shit in the back of the truck. Plus, we'd have to lift it up to put it in the bed of the truck. My toolbox probably weighs 400 or 500 pounds alone, so there's no way that shit's happening, and it would take me all day to clean it out, move it, put it all back together. Yep, dog's got to go out. Go get the dogs ready so I can help you take them out. He heard you.
I know. I heard.
Yeah, I don't know why you're out here sandals on anyway. But I just don't get it, man. I don't get the mentality where you maybe it's just because maybe it's a US thing that some of us just don't have that mentality that we are government's bitch, because that's what it boils down to. When you argue with me because you want to be a slave, you have made yourself government's bitch. I don't give a shit if you're in the US or if you're in Canada or wherever. And these dudes will they will argue to the end of no fucking ends of the earth. I just sat here for half an hour while I was eating. While I eat, I'll sit down and I'll start playing on my phone. And it was the same thread and people over and over and over again justifying why they will go peacefully, why they're letting government steal their legally obtained property. Legally, I don't even like that damn word. Property that they have worked hard for and they have purchased. Fuel, jerry cans, fucking trucks and cars. They just arrested 2 farmers the other night because they had empty transfer tanks in the back of their truck in downtown Ottawa. And you guys are standing around with cameras filming this shit. Like, at what point do you say, wait a second, there's fucking 200,000 of us here with some really heavy equipment. There's about, I don't know, 1,500, maybe 2,000 of these dudes. So we got them 10 to 1. Plus, we got all this heavy shit behind us. We could really, really make a bad fucking day in Ottawa if we wanted to. Not only can we make it a bad day, we could control this place. But see, they don't want that stigma, that narrative of like insurrection, right? It's not a fucking insurrection when your government is abusing you. When your government is abusing everybody, it is not an insurrection at that point. It is your government has declared war against you, has tried to cuff you and make you their slave, and you are fighting your way out to it. It's fucking just. And more than just, it's like God's work. So God gave you life, and God gave you these natural rights, which Canadians don't believe they have these natural rights because their constitution doesn't say so. It's the stupidest. All of the shit is just it boils down to people knowing little or next to nothing about what freedom is, and just believing what the last guy told them, and that's what it is. You know, a guy what did he say to me? Something about democracy. Just trying to find out what your angle is. If you're not for this freedom rally, or what are you? Are you? I know you're anti-protest, anti-democracy. Well, I'm definitely anti-democracy. I'm definitely against. I'm against 99.9% ruling the 0.1%. I'm against the 0.1% ruling the 99.9%. Everybody should just be able to live their lives in peace. There's no reason why we can't, other than there's the few at the top that want to make, their yes, in that want to make their lineage, be wealth. They want to gain wealth from the sweat of your labor through their laws, dictates, and their enforcement. It's some total bullshit. I don't know. You can't fix stupid. I can't see what any of you guys are saying because my phone's dead, so I turned it down. But you can't fix stupid, man. And I'm out of the Canadian Freedom Trucker Convoy talking business at this point. I think I'm not even going to try to talk any sense into these people because they don't. They just want what they want, and it has nothing to do with what happened prior to these passport shit. It has nothing to do with this vax tax, anything prior to any of this stuff of 2 years ago. They don't care about. They care about this one thing, and that is it. And they're not even willing to go so far with it. If the government came up to them and said, you're going to take this shot or you're going to die.
Hold on, dumbass.
They would take the shot. They would take it. Now, some people are going to say, well, if it's going to kill you, it's going to kill you. You're going to die anyway, so why not just take it and take your chances? Because it's about your principles. It's about what you believe. It's about where you stand. Like if you can't stand and fight for what the fuck you believe in, you're not going to fight for anything. And you're definitely not going to fight for me or the guy standing next to us or the guy across the way. Which means what? It means that you have absolutely no idea what freedom is. Like, we had to get away from this ideology where government is our God. It's okay for government to kick in our door and kidnap our kids and kidnap our wives and take our property that we worked hard for. But if some fucker with some fucker that didn't have a badge on with a ski mask on, because they'll come in with a ski mask on. If the same asshole came in, but he wasn't backed by the state, you would call him a criminal and you'd shoot him in the fucking mouth. Now, how much sense does that make? That there's two people doing two of the exact same goddamn things, side by side. You justify it, allow it, and in most cases support it because one of them has a government badge on and the other one doesn't. Well, what if this guy that doesn't have a government badge on got with 400 of his friends and they decided it was okay that they broke into your house and kidnapped your kids and took all your shit? That would make it okay then, right? Because it wasn't just him. It was 400 of his other buddies. Well, they weren't elected. Okay. Let's say it was 400 guys that were fucking elected. Would that make it okay? If they got elected from, whoever, the criminal population in prison, that would make it okay because they were elected then, right? No, it doesn't make it fucking okay. It doesn't. And or be jailed. which in my case it would be died, because I'm not going back to a cage. I've done nothing that I deserve to go to a cage for, um, and I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it. And that's what it is. People fear government, but then they support government. Why do they support government? Because the TV tells them to. Because the TV tells us it must be peaceful. I agree, hey, dude. Listen, I'm 100% peaceful, but I demand to be left alone. I demand to be able to live my life how I choose, as long as I'm not bothering anybody else. I demand that. I mean, if y'all are still there, yep, you are. I demand that. So when you come to me with violence to tell me that I can't do that, you have declared war against me. You have started a fight. You're no different than a bully walking up and punching me in the mouth. But it's just not seen that way in the big scheme of things, because people are fucking mindless cowards who love to hand their power and shit over to government, believing that they are somehow benefiting from it. And there's no benefit. Our government does not do what it is meant to do. It does not do what it's supposed to do at this point, especially not our government. There's not a government in the world. In every country in the world, it's not coincidence that we're all dealing with the same shit. I mean, this shit was planned out. It was executed. It's happened. And like, we're at the end of the tyrannical cycle. People believe that just because this one issue that started in 2020 has affected them this way, that tyranny just started, right? It's a new thing. No, this shit's been going on since the beginning of governments, even in this country. I mean, tyranny started almost immediately. You had George Washington, he was held up as some fucking hero that led the government forces in the Whiskey Rebellion, that then led to the deaths of allegedly 4 farmers. But I would bet there's far more than that. There's just some of them that wasn't put on record. But it makes no sense. People, the problem is people have to be led and hand fed and shit. You know, we're just easily controlled as a whole. And the few of us who cause waves and stir the pot and say, no, we're not going to deal with this. The few of us, it's easier to wipe the few of us out and continue on with the bullshit, so everybody's making their money. And that's what it all boils down to. These pig ass cops, they do what they do for 2 reasons: money and power. They feel like they have the power and they want the money. I mean, you have local cops now that are making $100,000 a year in some small town. I bet the cops in this town right here make $60,000 a year. There's less than 3,000 people in this town. I think there's only 11,000 people in the whole county. Cincinnati, Ohio cops. The average wage for a cop last year in Cincinnati, go look it up, I think it was like $107,000 to sit on your ass, eat donuts, sit in parking lots, take a break whenever you want, get a head job for the local hooker or whatever the fuck it is that you all do, and then arrest anybody that's got a problem with it. Sure, sounds like a great job. Maybe we should all just be cops. How about we just put a badge on all of us? That way we can all just spread the power out, spread the wealth a little bit. It's just, it's frustrating, and it fucking infuriates me that these people, like, if know your position. I said that shit a year ago. Know where your position is. If you're not pro freedom, don't pretend to be. If you're a bitch, raise your hand and say, I'm a bitch. I will say, please get the fuck out of my way then, and I will keep moving forward. And that's what you have, just a whole line of bitches, government bitches. Okay, I think I got it out of me. I got to get to work now. So you guys have a great day. Stay on. Like, just, you have to know what you're willing to tolerate. And that's what it boils down to. What are you willing to tolerate in your life? If you're willing to pay some tax, hey, it's your money, more power to you. If you're willing to let them come on your land, more power to you. If you're willing to let them kidnap them, hey, fuck it, it is your goddamn life. But that doesn't mean that I have to be okay with that shit or allow any of that shit. Now, I know the consequences of doing that is the end of my life by a bullet that I was extorted in order to pay for. I'm fine with that. I'm 40 years old. My life is over. Do you think I give 2 fucks about the next 10 years? Yeah, I do, in the sense that I want to be around for my kids. I want to see them grow up. I want to see them have families and all that shit. But if me dying today means that they get to live a day free or a year free or 10 years free, whatever that number is, before that they have to be in the same position I am, saying the same shit that I'm saying, and it's just, and I'm put a big target on my back. The DHS put out a goddamn memo the other day calling people that are anti-cops domestic terrorists. What do you think is going to happen to me? What do you think is going to happen to people that are like me, that just want to be left alone? I'm not necessarily anti-cop. I'm pro-freedom, and a byproduct of that is I'm anti-authoritarianism, anti-cop. Why? Because I never allowed for anybody to police me. I'm pretty sure you probably didn't either, but you believed that we did because cops are all around, and it's how it is, right? We grew up thinking like this is normal. It's normal to have government agents police you, come on your property to serve warrants on people that don't even fucking exist as far as you know. And not only do they come to your door, it's not like they come up and be like, hey guys, we're here because so-and-so here missed a court date. No, they come while you're sleeping at your door and they're... And then when you look at your wife and you're like, wait a second. And you're getting up and you're getting, moving. Your wife goes to answer the door. Before she can even get to the door, they're again. Lost some rust there or something. I mean, it's just, it's fucking lunacy. And they believe that it's okay. You put a private property sign at the end of your driveway. I mean, that kind of means private property. Like, hey, it means you better stay the fuck out of here. Because I can't guarantee you your safety once you come past that point, right? They don't believe it applies to them. They truly don't believe it applies to them. Well, we're government agents. We can do what we want. Why do they believe they can do what they want? Because they're backed by other assholes that when they hit a button, all they got to do is hit a button. And the cavalry will come running to save them. And it doesn't matter. They could, listen, they come on your property. You could walk around the corner, catch them raping your fucking daughter. And as long as they hit that button, when the cavalry shows up, if the cavalry showed up and they still had their pants at their goddamn ankles, the cavalry would fucking murder you and then ask them what happened after the fact when you're not there to defend yourself because you're now dead. Like, it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense, but everybody justifies it and somehow says it's logical and it's how it has to be. And no, it's not, man. We can all live our lives how we want in peace, be left alone with the government that we agreed to have, being governed the way we agreed to be governed. We're only governed by consent. I'm pretty fucking sure there ain't nobody consenting anymore to this shit. And if you are, you're a moron. You're part of that team, not this team. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know, but I really got to go. I got a ton of shit to do in a short amount of time to do it. But y'all stay safe. Live life and love it and live as free as you can while you can, because days are coming where the shit we said last week, last month, last year are going to be coming to. It's going to come a time that it's going to affect us. They're going to be eventually coming and getting people over that shit. It might not be in our lifetimes, but it's going to happen. And when that shit happens, if you see them coming down the road and you don't have somebody to call and be like, hey, Billy Bob, some shit's about to happen at the I Wish You Would ranch. Get over here, or just get out on your porch and start looking through the scope. If you can't do one of those two things, you're done for. You cannot win that fight. So then the question becomes, is the fight even worth fighting if you know you're going to lose? Fuck, to me it is, just based on principle. You know why? Because I know where I stand.